You have made it 100 miles to freedom all by yourself. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Harriet Tubman.
She's the subject of a new biopic, and her face may one day grace the $20 bill. But who was Harriet Tubman?
Harriet Tubman was really one of the bravest individuals to really ever walk the planet. My name is Erica Armstrong Dunbar, and I'm the writer of She Came to Slay, The Life and Times of Harriet Tubman. She was born enslaved around 1822 on the eastern shore of Maryland, and she did difficult labor for most of her life.
In 1849, a 20-something-year-old Harriet, then known as Minty, escaped captivity with two of her brothers. They tried to make the difficult journey north to Pennsylvania, where slavery was illegal.
And somewhere along the line of their travels, Minty's brothers stopped and reconsidered what they were doing. They were nervous. They didn't necessarily think they'd be successful. And so they made the decision that they would return, that they would rather face the consequences of punishment, which was sure to happen.
They took her back to slavery.
And it was really that moment that she made the decision that she would never let a man decide her fate. She returned with her brothers, and shortly after, she fled on her own. And so in the fall of 1849, she takes off from the eastern shore of Maryland and travels to the Pennsylvania state line, and she did it on her own and by foot.
Though she was relatively free in Pennsylvania, Harriet was lonely. She missed her family, and so
she decides she's going to return to the jaws of slavery and to rescue her family members and her friends, 1, 2, 3 people at a time. Over the next 10 years or so of Harriet Tubman's life, she would rescue close to 60 to 70 people, all from the eastern shore of Maryland. Over 13 trips back and forth, she knew her way without a compass, without the ability to read signs. Of course, at this moment, there was no GPS, so Harriet Tubman was completely reliant upon the stars, the direction of water or streams. She never lost one person. She brought every single person who started a journey with her, she brought every single one of them to freedom.
Because of her reputation as an effective operator behind enemy lines, Harriet was asked to be a spy during the Civil War.
She agrees to do it, and she goes down to South Carolina. It's the first time she'd ever ventured south of Maryland, and she creates a relationship, a network of formerly enslaved people who lived in the area to find out everything she could about the Confederates who were located nearby. With the help of this network, she finds out where the Confederates have placed torpedoes along the Combahee River. And so she is able to lead a raid.
Harriet's raid took Confederate forces by surprise. Their land and property fell into the Union's hands, and best of all,
on that day, Tubman rescues over 700 enslaved people from slavery in South Carolina.
That episode is depicted in the film Harriet.
I would give every last drop of blood in my veins until this monster called slavery is dead.
We often think about her in the way that we see her in textbooks, as an older woman, head covered, kind of removed, iconic. This film really gives us an opportunity to think about Harriet as a young, brave woman who made great sacrifices in order to follow her mission, which she really believed was given to her by God, that it was her duty to rescue her family and friends. And so the film gives us a wonderful opportunity to think about her and just how difficult it was to do that work.
Though she was gifted and driven, nothing came easy for Harriet Tubman.
When we think about Tubman's life, one of the words that comes to mind is difficult.
I come to get you, bring all of you to freedom.
Her time as an enslaved person was physically difficult. It was torturous. Her work in the Civil War, and even once slavery ended, the Civil War was over, the 13th Amendment abolishes slavery. Tubman's life is still difficult. Even though she saved nearly 1,000 people, she was constantly impoverished.
Nevertheless, as they say, she persisted.
Harriet Tubman was an activist who centered the lives of other people in her mission to bring happiness and equality and justice to everyone.
This is InsideEdition.com.